Hi. Great way to start a session.
Was that
Welcome
on
back.
recording?
No, that wasn't on recording. But
Okay.
don't worry. It's Ace Attorney. There was a girl who suddenly appeared. It's the girl who was near
yeah.
the guy. And I think this was probably the last session of the first chapter. Or the first case. Maybe.
Maybe.
Well-
It might not be very long, so we'll see.
Well, we'll find out. It's so far been pretty long.
I mean the session.
Oh, yeah. I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why the sudden ingress into my courtroom?
A judicial assistant, and a woman no less.
Real.
The rules state that females are not permitted to this court of law other than to testify.
His wild white knightism and simping spans the whole spectrum.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
All right, Emily, turn over the hourglass.
Ah, you're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency,
I am most grateful.
Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. Like, seriously, please. Hey,
What is this, a
2
robot
minutes
about
left.
something written in English?
it's Giselle Brett's research.
The English romans.
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she?
So does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
No, dumbass, I just decided to give it to you. Oh wait, seriously, she did. I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
No. No, of course not.
Special characteristics of Cuiraire and its effects on human subjects. Interesting.
Isn't that a spell from Final Fantasy?
I would not know.
Curare. What's that? Never heard of that word before.
it's a spell from Final Fantasy. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
Just got the text, like, had to take a minute.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
Well, like a spell? This is wonderful, thank you. Zeal's
Now I have to go
report.
back to play Final Fantasy XIV. There's a free demo. Goodbye, then. And good luck.
I thought women weren't allowed to play Final Fantasy 14 in feudal Japan.
You clearly don't use the same social media I do.
Oh, okay, so they are allowed to play. Even in feudal Japan? That's awesome. So progressive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've had long enough, Council. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Let me look at the court record. I want to see what that is. Poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis to the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry: the above-mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as those inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have applications as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full-body process must be found, or patients would die of suffocation. So what I'm hearing here is, it's a cool little poison that sort of acts like anesthesia. So, I, gun to my head, I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
He's barely added anything.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance.
Yeah, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have some new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett,
Yes, Your Excellency.
if you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence just a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Is this thing?
Yes!
Miss Jazeel Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing some research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel?
A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
This sounds like them describing Gen 1 toxic leech seed combos, where it's like it's instant death, but it actually takes 3 turns to activate. They described it. It takes a couple turns. Takes a couple
Ryunosuke, I
minutes.
think it sounds nothing like that.
What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say?
I've never even heard of it. It's probably supposed to be pronounced curare or something
I think
like
it's
that.
curare.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason.
Doctors hate this simple trick.
It doesn't exist in our country.
It doesn't exist. Correct, which means no matter what tests the police do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
Ah!
Order, order, order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist?
According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. This is a little racist. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
I think it's actually true, though. They use, like, it for...
It's just a little weird to lump, like, South America as, like... I don't know.
I think that genuinely happened. Like, Europeans were going along South
Sure,
America.
there
and-
were people that did
Yeah.
that, but it wasn't like...
Like, I think
South-
the
I don't know.
stereotype
The-
is when it's, like, poison dart frog poison.
No, it's not the stereo. The problem is I feel like the way it was phrased was like implying that there's not anything anyone had like advanced in South America.
The tribes... Yeah.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers.
Were you able to find Dr. Livingstone, Stanley? No, but I found this cool plant. It poisons you.
It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? trumpery! These suspicions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
Well, that's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. Huh. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain.
According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used.
Explain yourself, Counsel.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move.
It's Gen 1 rap.
Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. Ryunosuke.
It's like using Gen 1 rap on Gengar. It causes no pain, but he can't move anyway.
Kid who has only heard of Pokemon hearing about his second affliction, getting a lot of Pokemon vibes from this. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed.
But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death.
The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail.
You would know, you just know that if someone else presented this other than us, our goal would have been to call bullshit on it being instant, because it technically isn't instant. Respiration.
In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous.
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison.
And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing would have a happy tale for the defense.
There is a great way of testing it. Here you go, Ouchie. Let me pour you a nice tall glass there. There you go, bud. Yeah, you can go for it.
I'm not gonna do that. If I may.
All these facts?
Screen share. You... It is you who must be taught.
Of course. Dear lady.
Yeah, there's some screen share lag. Don't mind.
So, this was how you Japanese behave, is it?
Yikes. What?
Yeah. You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the result as if you discovered them. That's rich coming from the fucking British, hello?
We do an honest work of stealing everyone else's work.
I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Kaza was saying how good it is.
See? Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstance, of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime.
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of everyone surrounding you.
That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Britt.
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see, why not?
Wow, fancy animations.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boy.
Yike.
Sorry.
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. We're getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end.
Okay.
Cheers.
Pie. Wait, what are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
No. It might have a shelf life, like a really quick one, but probably not.
Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
Oh, no curare. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind.
There's no such thing as, like, poisoning a wine without poisoning the whole bottle.
Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
If you could you please fix this annoying dead pixel on my sleeve?
Wait. I didn't see it.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've taken more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Well, yes, dear lady, we're most gratified with all the assistance you have given.
This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale?
See, there it is.
I don't...
It's
Wait.
not really a dead pixel.
Oh.
It looks like it.
It's like,
It's a weirdly colored
it's-
speck.
Yeah, I see it. I don't understand it.
I don't understand.
Well, I suppose, if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? There can't have been. Because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Unless English women are immune to poison. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water.
It contains poison.
The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position.
You're serious?
You serious?
Fool, are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? Just shake the bottle.
That's right, which rather complicates your argument.
Maybe it's
I
heavier
think.
than the water, so it's sunk.
Well, I think it's because the evidence says that it is for blow darts, which means that it had to go in through a wound, and Bro just had dental surgery.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
So we know that she doesn't bite the inside of her lip. Or, like, her gums.
She doesn't have a canker sore right now, yeah.
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. Are we going to do, like, that flash-through thingy? I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly deadly poisoned water unscathed? That would be the medical report card.
I don't know what it wants.
I mean,
Because it could be either.
Right?
I think it's currently asking how she was able to drink it unscathed. So what you would say is her research, because it shows that drinking it doesn't cause, because it's not asking how did the victim get poisoned. It's asking how did she not just now get poisoned.
The above-mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound. Yeah. Okay.
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Mrs. Brett's own research report.
It's a valid explanation.
No.
After all, don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. I mean, what is this? 6 sentences? What do you think I am? Jesus. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. And by the way, yes, we do know who Jesus is, thanks to those lovely Europeans. Which one was it?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's practical, but we can check.
Yeah. Special characteristics.
Okay.
We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison, and it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
To the point, please.
But if they were using these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat?
Yes, good point.
So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Boy, if you just live in, like, this tribe, don't have a canker sore. Otherwise, you just die, I guess. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. No, through a wound, you say? I see, that makes some sense. Yeah. The mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifyingly poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
All right, Ouchie, scratch yourself and I'll dump the wine on you. Miss Brett,
Let's not do that.
you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little
That thing's alive?
rapscallion.
Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be.
Really? Me? A lawyer? God.
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how possibly. So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with, some facts he read in a book.
My book.
But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
Well, what are you trying to say, huh? I'm silly? Silly how? Silly looking?
Yes, your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish.
Law.
He has a lot of those.
As
Be
even
more
your
specific.
brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Oh, yeah, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? That's right.
Good gracious. All the twists and turns.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
Order in the court. Order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way.
Are you trying to suggest? Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. I'm grayscale now.
What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Damn.
Objection!
That was so cute!
Yeah.
I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. Why are they so big?
How dare you use that tone with me? They're close to the camera.
It's foreshortening, yeah. You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You're alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested, why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? He's got a bit of a medical history. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yeah, like the wound you might have If you'd just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day.
So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this.
Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile.
What? What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No.
I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. This isn't illegal in the slightest.
Yeah, I don't know what you're... Yeah, this is just... Wait. Ouchie, cut your arm and lick the carpet. With your arm. And the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder! Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of that water from that broken bottle as possible at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Oh.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle, or not. You... Let's not forget. We still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him out from the front is the little schoolboy. No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her. Now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. But very in line with the English.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it.
What do you mean?
We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
in my head.
I see you
pulls out like
all
a
over
saw.
me, in my head. Anyways, you told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan in her head.
So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell.
What I saw, what I felt, every color, Is Cosima right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Yes.
There's nothing.
Actually, Cosima, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue.
You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence.
Alright, I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories from that day. Whatever it could be is the key to arriving at the truth about all this. I get very scared saying that word.
Yeah,
Because
I had the
YouTube
thought.
AdSense will pick it up. Like, it's a good word, it's just unfortunate that it sounds like something. I don't think anyone would think that I was saying something else, but I think YouTube would be like,
Yeah,
did
like
you
the
say
AI
that
they
word?
have.
And I'd be like, no, YouTube.
Yeah.
It's here somewhere. The clue that shows how Dr. Wilson's real killer must... The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer is. Yeah, it's the ketchup. It's the Danganronpa ketchup blood. That's not.
Yep.
That's red.
It's not. Yeah. Person who's only played Danganronpa seeing blood
That would be
for the
so
second
funny
time.
to see like a
Getting
person
a
who
lot
looks...
of Danganronpa vibes from this.
That'd be so funny to see a person who was like dead or like presumed dead, but it's ketchup.
That would be
so
funny.
it's red instead. They'd be like, wait, it's red.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, that would be good.
Anyway.
Take that!
That was so forceful. Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes. What is it? He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute, where are you going with... Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in the photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood.
What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that cannot be the case. Take a good look at this photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah!
Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Brett.
I beg your pardon. This is beyond ridiculous, fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you'd been eating, Miss Brett, and took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice.
Oh no!
I would love it.
The steak is falling. Oh no! Oops!
She's like lifts overhead and smashes it.
I would love if he became like recurring through the rest of the cases as the investigator.
We'll find out. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Mrs. Brett's plate. Or Miss Brett. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir.
They were like, get her off the stand so she doesn't.
Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. It is a year late. Or a day late. Well, what about the blood?
Different amount of time.
Is there blood on it? I'm not going to eat it unless there's blood. Yes, everyone wants their steak bloody, don't they?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector, the blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. I see no fucking blood.
No blood. No blood anywhere. What? But no, that's impossible.
This case was supposed to be over an hour ago.
I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
Oh, my apologies. This is the sergeant's plate. Here's our plate.
An unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Goodness gracious.
Ah! Racism!
I couldn't agree more, in the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Finally. Family.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempted courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. I'm decided to mix their voices. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. Shouldn't have said that.
That's the funny thing. Was the plate I saw or thought I saw just a figment of my imagination? I don't know. Let's see.
Check like the sides of it and shit. Or is it? Can you rotate it? No.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like, yeah, there we go.
Oh, you can. Hmm. Oh wait, is that blood down there?
What?
Oh. Hey.
What in the world is this?
I think it's a Koban coin, and the hallmark is from the Hoi era, I believe.
No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there?
Wait. You said it was Hoi Kaban?
Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable.
This isn't the first time we're there. There's been talk of a Hoi Koban. Oh, yeah, the guy was looking for it, wasn't he?
Yep. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion and bullion. That's good. That's good.
And I don't think you ever will again. He shoots him. This is extraordinary, though. This means
Alright.
anything else. Where did you see blood?
I was wrong.
That is some low poly steak. This is it now. I've lost.
Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel.
Hmm?
Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what.
Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Already did it.
As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Oh, wait, no, shit. No, I'm really clutching at straws now. That would fly in the face of common sense.
You know, it flies in the face of common sense that someone like you with no experience as a lawyer could last this long in a trial like this.
How did you...
Opportunities are always there for the taking, but only for those with the determination to grab them. Let's have another good look at that steak. You want to give up, but it better wait until after that.
Maybe I should examine the evidence in more detail.
Well, a deafening silence from the defense. I will take that as your final answer on the matter.
Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak.
You're damn right.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I would not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. Since you broke the one piece of evidence that would have done this faster...
She broke the one piece.
She did. It was her.
I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied with all reasoning and all doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Don't have a tone about it, boy. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you're alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is the new clue to be found?
It's under the steak. Yoink. Alright, come on. No. Come on.
Why? Keep doing this.
Wait, did you say it was a Hoy Kaba?
Oh, I think you... Well, maybe not.
Yeah, instead of presenting, I clicked on it, I guess.
Oh, that is what happened. Okay, I see.
This means... Okay, now I can click on it. I think I had to do that. Got it!
Oh, yeah.
Good gracious, that's...
Cobalt?
What on...
What on earth?
Oh, you're wanted that. Miss Brett? This is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant in the day of question, wasn't it? So tell me.
I say no?
Why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want to know part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat. That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Putting a priceless ancient coin in my steak. Yeah.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hawaii Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now.
He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency?
Yes, Consul?
A rare Hoey Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. This turns out to be irrelevant to the case. I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Well, means don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we, as the owner of this coin, we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under the stake.
The owner?
Yeah, it's obvious. There's only one person it could belong to, Miss Brett. The owner of this Koban that we found underneath the beefsteak is that weird old guy.
Me?
No. Me? No. You.
Take that!
You. Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasutai, Curio Kurakuda-san, and his mysterious curios.
Curie, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite
I think that's
unfathomable.
Kappa.
Oh, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency.
I remember him saying that he was up to something with this Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. They got shot interested me not. I was actually busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Looking for treasure. Eddie, the Hoyara Koban, my prized coin.
And this Hoera Koban, do you mean to tell me it's covered in beefsteak?
No, please. Why would Kurakuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
You're damn right it doesn't. Which is why I'm asking to bring Kurakuda-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Did he put it there? Yes. But why? I'm senile. Oh.
Judge! I mean, no, that's me. Bailiff, bring all the witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay.
I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element to the case.
Wow.
Okay, now there are two.
Oh my
Why'd
God.
you come back? Too many people. Oh, even he doesn't know.
What this is all about, why I've been called up again. I don't remember my voice. Don't you realize it's dinner time for my little baby idol? When my son's belly is empty, he's fierce in a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness.
Time to kill a cop.
And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence.
What you can, like, okay.
Be that as it may, Kurakuda-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. Here you go. Have you ever seen this Koban?
Ah! Yes, that's it. That's the one. That's the very one. That's the very exact one that is. The resplendent, splendiferous white treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be.
As I thought.
Young man. I said, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery.
That's not how I remember the song going.
Where? Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Huh? Oh, I'm not sure it was dropped anywhere.
We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Cosmo, why'd you say it like that?
I'm hungry. Sandwich, soaking, seriously.
He just has like that beefsteak in front of him. He's eating it.
Yeah. Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Oh my god, Cosmo, I think the cure was in the steak too. Okay, you're fine. You don't have any mouth sores, right?
Oh. Somebody concealed my whole treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing. I would kill them in bloody murder right now.
What if we told you it was a woman?
What the fuck?
Excuse me. Could I say something?
Yeah, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
Ah, yes, that one.
The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip this case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected.
So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it?
Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief.
Unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis.
Hey, it's me, Kay. I had a time machine.
Holy shit. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems.
I don't know about the master thief part, but maybe a relative. The identity of the person who stole and hid Kurakuta's Sans Koban is all too clear. Or like an ancestor, more like.
What?
What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Kurakuta Sans Koban and hid it under the steak?
I think it's pretty likely it's Zell.
Probably.
Well, yeah. Seems like a likely candidate for a Koban thief.
No, come on, Ryunosuke.
Huh? Wait, you shocked me, Kazuma.
Not as much as you shocked me. No one could have approached the table unnoticed. Even if you're a crazy fool, you couldn't have missed that.
I'm not sure you should be calling Kurakuta-san a crazy fool, Kazuma.
It's you I was calling the crazy fool.
Maybe I'm on the wrong track here. Wait, did you cut my penalty? Wait, buddy, you're cutting my penalties.
I don't believe I can have heard you correctly, Counsel. Let me hear your opinion on this matter again.
So...
Actually, probably.
I mean... Unless it's... like... Yeah? No, I mean, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a likely.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Why would we know who it is?
It's probably some
Maybe it's... the military guy?
Why would he do that?
I don't know, he's the only other guy who was there! He didn't steal his own coin. So it has to be, like, he's investigating this. He would have taken the coin, so it's gotta be the military guy.
Yeah, but also this guy took the stake, so he could have put the coin under it.
But why would he do that? If, like, he would have just kept the coin if he wanted to steal it.
Obviously, it could only be
Obviously.
you. Sergeant Yesenosa.
Oh, maybe like the baby did it.
What?
Oh, like as a bit.
Because he likes golden shit.
How dare you monster!
Monster? You steal men's souls.
I stole that Koban, did I? And the master thief of Lake Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido. Ido was the mastermind behind all of this.
You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby. It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Watch him just also be the killer. No, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. No!
I hate the fucking snot drool thing that, like...
Yeah, it's great.
Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Yesanosa preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir.
Oh, okay. Alright, great. I guess that's why he had to come back. You just hear like a snapping noise.
Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant?
This place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same place.
Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and a fork even, which is worryingly believable.
And your target that day was the old man and his Koban.
This feels like a filler episode of an anime. What does this have to do with anything?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
Ah, a veritable phantom thief you are. Don't fucking say it.
She's my favorite character from Persona 4.
Okay.
I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring when it happened.
That's what.
Yeah, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I do too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it onto the stick, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Dumb place to hide the coin.
This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time.
Well, Miss Brett?
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Executed? Okay.
Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant, who would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it?
Oof.
Oof.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork...
No, that is top pot.
It's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now all the questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered. See no further justification for detaining you. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
Idea. I was making the face again.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said just jarred with me. She said jarred with me, okay. Let's check that history. What'd she say?
The knife and fork thing, I think. Because you can use that to prove that this isn't actually her plate.
Yes. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up.
If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Sorry?
You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett.
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time. For real this time. Promise. Just something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense is this?
Professors.
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Let's take a quick peek. Fork. Can't see the knife. Fork and a knife.
Yeah.
There is no fork or knife on this plate. He must have slipped it in. That must be his own beefsteak, then. That's not hers.
Yeah, yes, the army guys.
Yes, that's the army guy's beefsteak.
Which means that it doesn't, you know, the blood would have been on, like I think she swapped
hers.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction.
I'm going to need to see some evidence, Counsel. Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory. Where's the evidence to prove it?
I think it's the picture, or maybe no, maybe it is this one.
The steak that
Yep.
Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural? It's gone! Holy shit, it is gone. Dude, did you eat the whole steak?
Giselle Brett with suspiciously steak-shaped neck. Who could have known where it went?
Wait, how'd you eat it? I thought you were eating it.
Natural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Oh, I guess that's also true. It looks like it was just torn into.
Notice what exactly, Counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could ever contemplate picking up a steak and biting it without a knife and a fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at that steak there, and particularly the edge where it's been bitten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Will I never? She, like, opens her mouth, and it's like the stereotype of English people having bad teeth.
Oh god. I don't even have teeth.
Oh.
Ah!
It looks like Miss Brett has realized something.
So, if the witness is as she claims, she wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, well, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
But what is your actual point? Perhaps his delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't help her. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
Your dear ravenous lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, this will all be over in the blink of an eye. I went British again. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to... I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Get it? Because you have a bird on your head.
Clearly, this witness well knows what this means. It was a bird pun. She's realized the catastrophic implications the teeth marks in the steak have for her.
Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this?
Absolutely not. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
Well, I accept that these teeth marks on the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. What exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything.
Yeah, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today?
Blame the writers.
You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
You didn't have to add the second word there.
Just you wait 20 years. How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Well, actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't even been brought to the court yet.
Hasn't been what?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Actually, it does. She smashed that.
Oh.
Attention!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward. There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Oh, I don't. But there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person's willing to submit that piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well, then. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense for this trial.
Whoa possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth of this whole affair. Mr. Perfect. The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga.
What? I have it?
Yeah.
You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous.
No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks.
Well, yes.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak. as well as admitting to stealing Korakuda-san's coin. He told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak?
Attention. Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentlelady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
Well, in other words, it means the steak the detective submitted as the evidence earlier. Well, that was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
What? That makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Sure was. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
We've
We've
never
never stolen anything of
anything.
value.
I was at the art museum in Chicago over the weekend, and oh my god.
Yeah.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the surgeon switched the two steaks over?
Oh god.
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced that he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. He decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance.
Didn't he just pocket the coin? I know he was panicking.
With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the left foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
This didn't hurt her, nor did it help her. It just wasted time. She just had a bad disguise for her steak.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
It's unbelievable.
However, fear not, Prosecutor San.
It's now.
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did. Said.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Sure is. So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Well, yes, that follows.
Yeah, that tracks. Inspector Inspector Hosanaga?
Oh, good. You said it properly the second time.
Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both.
That's correct.
Well then, please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat, I can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No. You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. And now that it has been, like, cock-teased by me for the past half an hour, I think I deserve to see it. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest.
I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Well, let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court.
Present the beefsteak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you.
Oh my, look at that.
Here's the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it.
Bud, use your eyes. It's more than a splattering. Bloodstain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Yes!
Well, now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at that moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. Now back to me.
In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
Ah! It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you. It's been a little while since we've had a trial one female killer. Oh no, not the swan. I think it's dying. I'll just let this autoplay.
Outdone by a Japanese, me, by a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no!
How many birds you got up there? Oh, we killed her. Damn.
So stupid. So cute. Yeah.
Okay.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure.
I think it was the swan, actually. But you did certainly help.
Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Behavior.
Well, Miss Brett,
Who spelled with a U?
I believe it's time you told the court what exactly happened on that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency.
I want her to, like, pan her hat up, and she just has dot eyes. Just, like, solid black dots.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just everyone from Britain just has dot eyes.
It was I who took the professor's life using karate. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
Well, that would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? It's a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. Plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
Teehee.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
So
Prove
I
it
was
for the...
right. There were two guns.
Yes.
Then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you'd presumably placed on the floor. A place where you were sure that I would notice it. And the other one where I wouldn't notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up,
That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead.
naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assume Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
Oh, to you silly Englishmen and English women. Death.
So she's getting off on this, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Your Excellency,
Yes.
I wonder... Might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call
Oh,
on you.
let's go!
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. No, why would I... What?
I don't know if she could be prosecuted by this country.
No, I mean...
I'm pretty sure that's not how the law. I think you can be prosecuted by wherever you are.
Yeah, you could. Nowadays, I don't know if back then. It'd be weird.
It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This can't be. Takatsuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. That's where the screen share froze for a sec. Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Well, yeah.
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten. You become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new.
Oh shit, it's time for her to cut him down!
It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
Sonic Blade. Fierce Demon Fang. He literally sent a sword beam.
1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan.
These clans are irrelevant. But, yeah.
No, they are not.
Wait, no, Phoenix's last name is right. Wait, is, hold up, Apollo's last name is his last name Naruhodo?
No. They used they localized this game much more faithfully than they did the rest of them.
Oh.
In Japanese, Phoenix's last name is Naruhodo.
Oh, okay.
And I think that Winston Payne's last name is Ouchi.
Gotcha.
So this is like a bit about how how they always suck.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I heard we had a 99% lose rate, us accused.
Yeah, that's correct. Use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. Very willingly. But the Western's ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it would look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is it for the young to pursue. Kazuma Sogi?
Yeah.
Is this Sogi like someone's name as well? Like family name?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Those are the only two ones I knew.
After this trial, you're set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Sorry. But all you can, absorb everything in the wider world that you will be able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. Find the good British dish.
Oh no.
It will be done. Though my journey.
I mean, I'm sure he'll have fish and chips at some point. He'll have chicken tikka masala. Wait, hold on. Tikka masala invention date. In the 70s. No.
Who's locked?
Oh. I had that for dinner tonight. Oh, so good.
I like tikka masala.
I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? You look so grave all of a sudden.
Never mind.
Well, as for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, yeah?
In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Hopefully I won't be back here.
We hope to see you again.
This isn't the Pokemon Center. It was always weird when she said it, too.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant Ryunosuke Naruhodo not G. But he is a G.
He's been making that face the entire time, poor Ouchie.
I did a yippee that was, I think, too high-pitched to get picked up by the mic.
This court's now adjourned.
Yeah, I didn't pick up, sadly.
That's funny.
Truly the worst outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Still the 22nd of November. It's only 3? Man. Well, I can't believe it. I just can't believe what happened. I made it. I defended myself. I made it through that horrendous trial. With a lot of help from Kazuma.
Ryunosuke! You finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
Yeah, that Band-Aid has been on there for a couple days. Oh, you mean the trial? Yeah, I did that too. Well, I couldn't have done it without you, bud. Thank you, Kazuma.
No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
I
Yeah,
think this
I
is
don't
the
know.
guy.
I don't know which one is.
Oh, it's the woman.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything.
Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Your father, the Black Panther, is your father?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Speaking of Mikotoba,
Yeah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
thank you, Professor.
No, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend. Oh, yeah, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson.
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together.
I've never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asobi. You and that never-ending flowing headband of yours.
I'm using my bonus action to billow my cape.
Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law, and in beauty, and in style, and in grace, and in
Let's
funny
not go
faces.
that far.
In death, in life, in poetry, in gambling, in slavery. Watch and learn, my
Gambling,
boy.
maybe.
See
And
what's
not-
happened.
Actually, slavery was ended before America did, so no more slavery. Except for their judicial system.
See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
Is it? Would America? No, maybe.
No, yeah, he's just wrong. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan.
You're not taking the sword to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. How fucking dare you suggest I do not? A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go.
I mean, you take that peasant
If this
cutter
was
out
written
into the
by,
street,
like-
you're gonna get arrested, but you do you, man.
If this was written by, like, somebody who wasn't Japanese, I would feel very weird about it.
Yeah.
It cuts down anything that's in my way.
It's even still weird when it's in Japanese for me because, again, it's a peasant cutter. I understand it's like a position of power, I suppose. It's like a status symbol. Yeah, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes, Mr. Magic Swordsman.
That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Oh, she's
Kind of
taking
a girl
the first
boss.
boat out. Oh, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future, for Shanghai.
What? Shanghai? Sounds like we've been shanghaied.
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? But wait, why not?
It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh.
Inspector Hosonaga.
Pardon me. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate...
But wait, what's all this about consular jurisdiction?
We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice?
A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where her voices can't be heard.
To kill a mockingbird. But why would a consular court...
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Then so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments... They can't invoke a consular court just like that.
Oh. Can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
That's what I was eating. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for actions here in Japan.
I'm afraid that for the young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. Though her swans did escape.
I don't believe it.
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that women will receive the judgment
That women will receive the judgment she deserves. For a second there, I'm like...
God.
I was like, oh my goodness, Mikatoba.
Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. A murderer's on the loose. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor...
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun.
a new way to have fun.
In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? No. Oh, why not? As a head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink for an exorbitant price.
Hey, you're a detective, Hosonaga, aren't you?
I will not cough blood on your food,
Can't
I
believe
promise.
that commenter was right.
Let's not worry about the details for now.
Hey, you did see the comment? Okay. What was it? Was it,
No, I didn't actually see. I didn't actually
Oh,
read it.
okay,
I just
okay.
believed you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was Marie. Hold up. Pull it up.
I might remember to check it this time.
No worries. Here it is right here. Fun fact, they never say it in game. It's only in the art book, but the reason Hosonaga coughs up blood constantly is because he has a buckwheat allergy, and his family owns a soba shop. But allergies haven't really been figured out in this time period, so he has no idea that that's why.
That sucks.
It's pretty good.
Of course. Le Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yeah, thank you. She just bowed out of existence.
So Giselle Bratt won't be tried here.
I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Hey, Kazuma?
Yes, Ryunosuke.
I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today.
I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work.
Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the whole world.
I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial.
Ouchie sucks. We need better prosecutors in the world, like me.
I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Ah, no, not me. All that tense verbal combat. I never want to go through that ever again. I just, I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point?
Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
A katana blade? Knowledge of the law?
No. The ability to believe.
To believe. To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
You believed in me when you said I couldn't do it.
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in a courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in even then... well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
Believing in your client.
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me.
Well,
You faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. Another Persona 4 reference, 2 in one day. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma.
There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me.
Sounds serious. What is...
Oh, you're still here, are you?
Oh, Inspector Hosonaga.
I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go.
Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory.
And your study toward a Great Britain, don't forget.
How could I ever?
Ah, yes, that too.
He said with a longing sigh and a knowing look. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant.
Kind of, yeah.
And Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still... It was because of the help and support of all these people I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, it was that stupid baby stealing the coin.
You know it wasn't the baby who stole the coin, right?
What? Oh, shit. Kazuma hadn't managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. End. Alright, we did it. We beat the first episode. Goodness gracious.
It's longer every game.
Yeah. So, do you want to see the cold open, or are you good there?
I wanna stop right here.
Alrighty. Thanks for staying late and finishing the trial.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be the session. And when we come back next time, it'll be episode 2.